Hi there, strikers. There's something uniquely disturbing about people vanishing into thin air. Read about these incredibly strange, unsolved cases. Although these disappearances span centuries, locations, age ranges, and circumstances, there's one common thread shared between them: a lack of closure. There are theories, speculations, and investigations, but never a decisive answer. On our incoming episode, I'm going to feature some of the cases of mysterious disappearances, of some missing that just disappear without any trace. After watching the first part, here is the second part of disappearance of Rebecca Corriam. However, Melissa was dismissive of the suggestion that the slippers allegedly found near the pool, which were included among the belongings returned to Corriam's parents, had been hers. Mike and Anne showed them to me, she told Ronson. They were too big. They weren't her style. They were pink and flowery, and Hawaiian. I'd never seen her wear them. Why didn't Disney come to me or her girlfriend and say, "Can you identify these as Bex's?" While the Corriams later claimed the flip-flops were too small, they were unable to find anyone on the ship who had seen her wearing them and learned that no forensics had been done on them. In 2016, private investigators working for the family said that they had conclusively established that the footwear did not belong to the couple's daughter. Not only were they not in a style she would wear, they noted, the flip-flops had another crew member's name and cabin number written on them. The Corriams said this led them to strongly doubt Disney's claim that they had been found in the pool area, as well as its theory that Rebecca was swept or fell overboard from there. It was also noted that in the video of the phone call, Rebecca's clothes appear very large. Her friends and fellow crew have speculated that they may have been someone else's. Labour MP Chris Matheson, who has represented the City of Chester constituency since the 2015 election, believes Corriam was a crime victim, possibly murdered or sexually assaulted. The more you look into this, the more it smells rotten, the more it smells like a crime has taken place, he told The Echo the year of his election. He claims to have a copy of the original police report with compelling evidence to that effect. John Anderson, a private investigator who has worked with both the Corriams and Matheson, says records show the seas around the Wonder were normal that night, casting doubt on Disney's Rogue Wave claim. He also says that any wave capable of taking her off the ship would have caused visible damage to it as well. Baron John Prescott, former Deputy Prime Minister under Tony Blair and now a life peer in the House of Lords, has also taken an interest in the case. He believes Rebecca was thrown overboard rather than having fallen. He has also called for laws that would allow British authorities to investigate their own citizens' deaths on cruise ships in international waters. Ronson reported that at the time his article was published, the Corriams had received no further updates from Disney or the RBPF on the progress of the investigation. Whenever we call anyone, all they say is, "The investigation is ongoing," Mike Corriam said. "We've tried emailing, telling them how we feel, how it's getting harder. But nothing. Just, it's ongoing." The Bahamian police officer assigned to the case never returned Ronson's calls. 1. The Corriams have been joined in their criticism of the investigation by British government officials, Rebecca's friends among the crew, and advocates for victims of other incidents on cruise ships and their families. The latter, especially, note that 170 passengers and crew have disappeared from cruise ships since 2000, many without being seriously investigated or widely reported. All critics contend that Disney, like other cruise operators, is more interested in avoiding adverse publicity related to these incidents than anything else. In November 2011, Stephen Mosley, then the Coriam's MP, brought the case up in the House of Commons. The investigation into Rebecca's disappearance was appalling, he told Mike Penning, the Minister for Shipping. The Bahamian authorities made virtually no attempt at investigating Rebecca's disappearance, he continued, saying the RBPF was internationally recognized as almost toothless. Very few people know that when they board a cruise ship that they are so poorly protected. Countries such as the Bahamas, often criticized for the lax standards of such flag of convenience ship registrations, did not have the investigative capabilities to deal with such incidents. Penning responded by announcing that the Marine Accident Investigation Branch would investigate all deaths or disappearances of British citizens from vessels anywhere in the world, paralleling similar legislation signed by U.S. President Barack Obama that gives the Federal Bureau of Investigation that authority in the event of the death or disappearance of any American citizen. The government would also work through the International Maritime Organization to increase international cooperation on such investigations. Penning, too, was critical of Disney, saying the company was more interested in getting the ship back to sea than in investigating the case of the missing member of their crew. In other corporations, police get involved, said Kendall Carver, an American who founded the lobbying group International Cruise Victims after his own daughter's 2004 disappearance from the Celebrity Mercury. On cruise ships they have, quote, security officers, but they work for the cruise lines. They aren't going to do anything when the lines get sued. Miami lawyer Jim Walker, publisher of the blog Cruise Law News, which is highly critical of the industry, concurs. The Coriam family does not deserve Mickey Mouse games, he commented in Ronson's article. Walker later represented the Coriams in a suit against Disney in American courts. They settled with the company in 2015 for an undisclosed sum and an agreement not to discuss the case publicly. Carver and Walker both believe Disney has more evidence than it has shown, particularly security footage of the area by the pool, and is covering up knowledge of what happened out of fear of adverse publicity. If there's a video that shows your daughter going overboard, Carver told Ronson, that's the end of the story. There's no way someone can go off a ship and it not be recorded. Melissa told Ronson it was implausible that there was no footage since the pool is close to a number of other important offices, such as Human Resources and the Payroll Department, where money and sensitive documents were kept. She believed any cover-up by Disney may have been as much about protecting themselves from charges of negligence, since the pool is just below the ship's bridge and would thus be the portion of the ship where a fall would most likely be seen by someone in a position to start a rescue. If it was 6 a.m. and they were doing their job and watching the front, someone must have seen her go over, she told Ronson. or if they didn't, they're covering up why they didn't. Disney told Rawson that they are deferring to the RBPF. They have told us the investigation is still ongoing. They have not shared a timeline with us, either. Their spokesperson refused to comment on specifics about whether a tape of the phone call or additional security camera video exists. We wish we knew what happened as much as anyone. Rebecca's disappearance has been difficult and heartbreaking for everyone. And here is the second part. Stay tuned to the last part of her story.